Okay, get ready for this. A massive part of the story of life on Earth, I mean a huge chapter, has been completely missing. It was written billions of years ago by an author we never even knew existed. So yeah, let's dive into this gigantic, unsolved puzzle.
So our story really kicks off with something scientists call microbial dark matter. And it's a great name because just like dark matter in space, we know it's out there. We can see its effects, but we can't really see it. The truth is, the vast majority of microbial life is a total mystery to science. It's this massive blind spot in the tree of life. And figuring this out isn't just for bragging rights. It can unlock everything from new medicines to understanding climate change, and maybe even tell us what to look for on other planets.
And today, we're zooming in on one huge piece of that puzzle. Say hello to Seri chromata. Now, this isn't just one microbe. We're talking about an entire ancient branch of bacterial life, a ghost lineage that's basically been hiding in plain sight for billions of years.
So how in the world do you find a ghost? Well, you become a detective, of course. Scientists are now using this incredible set of tools to crack the ancient code, hunting for tiny clues left behind in rocks from billions of years ago.
And their investigation has two main lines of attack. On one side, you have molecular fossils. Think of these as literal chemical fingerprints, stuff like fats and lipids that got trapped in ancient rocks. And on the other side, you've got genetic family trees. This is where scientists look at the DNA of this microbe's distant relatives that are alive today to kind of reverse engineer their history.
Let's break down the case file, which is based on a really groundbreaking study from 2023. It's a pretty clear four-step process. First, they find the right evidence, really old, well-preserved rocks from about 2.7 billion years ago. Step 2, they carefully extract those chemical clues. Step 3, they match those clues to modern microbes to finger the culprit. And finally, they use all that data to build a timeline and figure out exactly when our ghost first appeared on the scene.
Okay, this is where the story gets really good. To get the big reveal, we have to go way back in time to a major turning point, when Earth was this completely alien world, right on the edge of a massive planet-altering change.
This timeline lays out the crucial moments. Around 2.7 billion years ago, something unbelievable happened. Oxygenic photosynthesis shows up. For the first time, some microbes figured out how to make oxygen. Now, for decades, the main suspects have been cyanobacteria. They had the high-tech gear to split water and release oxygen. The evidence is pretty strong, but, it's still a hot debate. Some scientists wonder if other microbes, maybe some melanin-producing types, were making tiny whiffs of oxygen even earlier. But no matter who started it, this was the moment that lit the fuse for the great oxidation event a few hundred million years later, which would totally remake our planet's atmosphere.
So the big question is, where does our ghost lineage, Sericea chromomatia, actually fit into this epic story of planetary transformation?
Right there. The analysis points to an origin date of just about 2.7 billion years ago. Not 2.6, not 2.8, but right at 2.7 billion. And trust me, that number is everything.
And here it is. This is where it all clicks into place. Look at that! The origin of Sericea chromatia lines up perfectly, perfectly, with the first appearance of oxygenic photosynthesis. Come on, that's no coincidence. That is a smoking gun.
This quote from the researchers just nails it. It suggests a tight coupling between redox evolution and bacterial diversification. Okay, normal English? Redox is just a fancy word for chemical reactions involving oxygen. So this means that the evolution of Sericea chromatia was probably kicked off by the appearance of oxygen. It found a new way to make a living in these brand new and frankly dangerous little pockets of oxygen that were popping up on the early Earth.
But you know how it goes. Solving one mystery just opens up another one. We now have a solid idea of when they showed up. The next big unsolved case for our scientific detectives is, where did they come from?
And yeah, finding the original scene of the crime is incredibly tough. These things were tiny and soft, so they left no actual fossils. Their genetic signal is super faint after billions of years. And to make it even trickier, these ancient microbes were constantly swapping genes with each other. It's called horizontal gene transfer, and that just completely messes up the family tree, blurring the trail for anyone trying to follow it.
But even with all those challenges, there are a few leading theories. And this is where the science is happening right now, as we speak. Think of this table as the detective's corkboard. You've got one camp saying they came from freshwater wetlands, based on genetic maps.
Then another group thinks they started deep underground, in ancient groundwater, since the oldest-looking lineages were found there. And a third team is looking at chemical biomarkers that seem to link them to old sulfur-rich ocean shelves. The case, as they say, is still very much open.
So, after all this incredible detective work, why does finding this one ghost lineage even matter? Well, because its story is about so much more than just a single ancient microbe.
All right, so what are the big takeaways here? 3 things you really got to remember. First, the birth of this group is directly tied to the moment oxygen first showed up on Earth, which is one of the most important events in our planet's history, ever. Second, finding it gives us this amazing window into that huge microbial dark matter that literally built the world we live in today. And third, this whole case just proves that combining chemistry and genetics isn't just adding to the story of life, it's completely rewriting the first few chapters.
When you boil it all down, this whole investigation reveals something really profound. The story of Seer cytochromatilla isn't just about some bacteria. It's the story of how life and an entire planet grow up together, each one shaping the other in this incredible dance that's been going on for billions of years.
And that leaves us with one last, mind-bending thought. If finding just one of these ghost lineages can so radically change how we see our own planet's history, just how many more are still out there, hiding in the dark, waiting for us to find them?